Hi everyone, today I thought I would show you how to make very simple water kefir, which is a probiotic drink. It's incredibly easy to make. Essentially all you need is some white sugar, some water and some water kefir grains. They're also known as tibikos. They look a wee bit like crystals. I'll just show you them. I've got some here and I'll just show you what they look like. They just look a wee bit like clear crystals. They're like wee kind of lumps, you can see them there. So what I have here, I've got 4 tablespoons of water kefir grains here, which I'm going to put back in my jar. And you wouldn't believe how simple this is. All you do, I'm going to put that back in my jar and I'll leave that there. So what I have here is, this is unflavoured water kefir. So that's just sugared water that's been sitting with the water kefir grains for approximately 2 days. What I'm going to do with that now is pour it into a clip top bottle, and then I can add some flavours and leave it again at room temperature for a few 2 or 3 days to develop a bit of fizz. Water kefir actually is incredibly fizzy. It's way more fizzy than kombucha, and because it's a slightly different balance, it's similar to kombucha but different. So what I'm going to do is just fill that up. I have one here which I have flavoured already, and this one has been actually in the fridge for a wee while. This one's got cucumber, mint and lime, which is absolutely delicious, and if I open it, it's got a nice fizz. You can see the fizz on that, and it's really quite refreshing and absolutely delicious. So to make it, the ratio is, if you have water kefir grains, again it depends how many you have, the ratio is 1 tablespoon of water kefir grains to 1 tablespoon of sugar and 1 cup of water. So I've got approximately 4 tablespoons of water kefir grains in there. So all I do is, once I've put my water kefir in the bottle, I've got my grains here, I've got 4 tablespoons. So what I have here is a jug with a litre, so that's 4 cups of water, and I've dissolved 4 tablespoons of white sugar in it. And just make sure your sugar is dissolved, and then all you do is you just pour the sugar water on your grains. In fact, that isn't quite dissolved, but I'll get that out. You just pour your sugar water on your grains, give it a bit of a stir, and then put your wee hat back on. You need to cover it up, obviously to stop flies and things falling in it. And then what you do is you just put that somewhere warm for a couple of days. Water kefir is not quite so forgiving as kombucha. If you leave it too long, the grains will just disintegrate and go into mush, so you really need to keep refeeding them. If you want to have a break from it, you can quite happily put your water kefir grains in the fridge and they'll be fine until you want to start using them again. So essentially every couple of days you have to feed them again. So that is as simple as that. All you need is your water kefir grains, some water and sugar. The ratio is a tablespoon of grains, a tablespoon of white sugar and a cup of water. So if you have 1 tablespoon, you just start off with that amount, and generally what happens is they do grow, and they grow. Mine don't grow particularly much, but they make fantastic water kefir, so that's fine. I've got loads of scobies that grow and I don't want to be overrun with them. If you're trying to make them grow and they're not growing very fast, you can add a wee bit of molasses every now and again, and that just adds some minerals. But again, there's a bit of a fine balance. If you add too many minerals, the grains then don't do very well. If they don't have enough minerals, they don't do particularly well either. So just play beer. Some people add fruit, lemon, raisins to the grains in water. I don't tend to do that. Occasionally I'll add a pinch of Himalayan salt, which just adds more minerals too. So if you want to give that a go, it's one of the simplest things to make. Kids really like it because it's really quite fizzy, and it's a really fantastic drink to have. So just try that one. The other thing to say about water kefir is it doesn't keep particularly well. It tends to be quite yeasty, alcoholic-y tasting if you leave it too long. So once you've got it, it's really best drunk within 3 or 4 days of making it. And also in the summer, because of the yeast can become really, really active. So once you've put your water kefir in your bottle, and you decide you want to add either some fruit juice or some pieces of fruit or some mint or whatever else, you need to be very, very careful and check the bottle every day for fizz. So you open it very gently and just check if you've got an awful lot of fizz coming up, and you need to close it really quickly, and you just try it again, and you need to then put it in the fridge. because the warmth will speed up the yeast, and it's the yeast that use the sugar to create carbon dioxide, which gives you fizz. So you do need to be very careful. I've had a few bottles exploding, which is not what you want. So as I say, it does get incredibly fizzy, especially when it's warm in the summer. The other side of that is in the winter when it's cold, it takes a wee bit of while to build up some fizz, so you need to put it somewhere warm to get some fizz. And if your water kefir's still flat after 3 or 4 days, then what you might want to do is just to stick it somewhere a wee bit warmer and give it a wee shake and just check. Sometimes what I have to do is put my bottles on the radiator when it's cold, just to give them a wee bit of a boost. And again, when you take your water kefir out from the grains, it just still tastes like slightly sweet water. But again, once you've got it in a clip top bottle and you add some flavours, you get this fantastic fizz, and it's really quite fun. So again, as I say, if you've got some water kefir grains, if someone's giving them or you want to buy some, again, I think you can buy them from happykombucha.co.uk. You can get them online. And you really don't need that many to start with, and they generally they do seem to keep growing quite fast. Some people, they double every time they make water kefir. Mine don't, which is good because I don't want to be overrun with them. But again, that's a really nice probiotic drink, way better than drinking like Coke or anything else, because that's actually got beneficial bacteria and yeast, organic acids, all sorts of good stuff in it, and it's definitely worth a go. And as I say, it is the simplest thing ever. It's essentially you just dissolve sugar in water, get the ratio right, so a tablespoon of grains, a tablespoon of sugar, a cup of water, and you add it to the grains, put a cover on and put them somewhere warm, and you leave them a couple of days. The other one that's really nice to do is actually you just put the grains directly into coconut water, if you like coconut water, and that makes the most delicious fizzy coconut water, and you don't have to add any sugar because coconut water already has sugar in it. But if you do that, you can't do that every single time because there are so many minerals in coconut water that the grains will over mineralise. So you can do that once, then put them back into sugar water, and then make it maybe once every 2 or 3 weeks, and that is absolutely delicious as well. So if you've got some water kefir grains, you have a bit of fun and make yourself some lovely flavoured water kefir.